about now?
There you go. Much better. I just realized my speaker might have been the problem. It's definitely the problem. It was turning like 70%.
Okay. So you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Y'all comfy?
I'm all comfy. I'm definitely not comfy, but I'm getting better. All right.
So this week, a guy got fired from his job. Actually, where I am right now, he got fired from Disney World. I'm not reporting about this because I'm here. I wasn't there when he got fired.
Right.
He sneaks into like the wedding pavilion, like where people pay tens of thousands of dollars to get married because it's fantastic. It's gorgeous. It's right out like Cinderella's dream.
Right.
He sneaks in after hours when it's closed, takes TikTok videos of himself, posts on social media and says, "Hey, this really should be locked up. It's just like wide open. You can just come down here anytime." That's not cool. He didn't get fired for that one. He got fired because later in the week, he goes back and starts posting videos of him drinking out of the fountains around the same resort.
Why would he drink out of a fountain?
And then he says, this is probably dangerous. I probably shouldn't be drinking water out of a fountain. Like, yeah. So anyway, bad idea to post on social media about shortcomings of your employer.
Yeah, that's a terrible idea.
Oversight. It's really a shortcoming. Obviously, it's secure. You can't get down there. The only reason he was down there is because he was an employee and had a badge that let him down in there.
Yeah.
I got that. I can't even see. So anyway, yeah.
Hey, nice mask, by the way. Like.
Yeah, man, rocking Mickey.
Great Mickey.
I wear Mickeys all the time. It makes people laugh, when I go in places, and I hate having to wear a mask, so might as well enjoy it if I got to do it.
Absolutely. So I had a minute when I wasn't outside and cold to look at the top 10. Last week, you mentioned Avatar has a chance to go from 2 to 1 at the highest grossing ever film. Ever.
It's amazing to me. It's amazing to me that Avatar is the highest grossing film.
So right now it's in second place. It's in second place as of the time of this article, of this stat sheet. So you're probably right. It's probably actually in first place. It's probably not 100% updated when I'm looking at.
Yeah.
Prior to the Chinese push, which I doesn't have that in here. But so prior to that, because the numbers, this article didn't. But before we get to that, that's the very top. I wanted to take us down to 10 to lead into it, because you're going to know every name on here. Every name on here you've probably purchased or watched a dozen times, minus probably one. So at number 10, the 10th highest grossing film of all time is Frozen #2 with
really
$1.4 billion made. Number 9.
That's insane.
Number 9 is, so I don't know if you've seen Fast and Furious, the first one we all have, right? Fast and Furious. We've enjoyed the series, but really it could have just ended with the first movie. The first movie was great. But at some point, The Rock got involved, and it really transformed the movie from a car racing movie to an action-packed action movie. But number 7, the 7th Fast and Furious, which is just called Furious 7, is number 9 with $1.55 billion.
Man, Fast and Furious, man, that's definitely that franchise just put the money in the bank.
Yeah, it
has such a following.
Yeah, it's just printing money. It's just printing money. All right, so number 8, The Avengers. The Avengers. They clicked in at $1.58 billion. So just around $3 million separates the two.
Right.
Number 7, the restart of the great series Jurassic Park with Jurassic World with Chris Pratt clicks in at number 7 at $1.67 billion.
I'm going to say that while the movie was good and the effects were great, I don't think that movie would have been that good if Chris Pratt had not been the star.
Oh, he made the movie.
He's such a fantastic actor. I just think that he was the draw because I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but in my opinion, I just don't think the draw is there for Jurassic Park anymore. Not like it was in the 90s when the first movie came out. it's a story that hasn't died, and
It hasn't. So
I could be wrong.
speaking of Jurassic Park, I'm gonna segue before we get to number 6. But have you seen the previews for the new Kong versus Godzilla?
I have.
Oh
And
my
it looks
goodness, I can't wait. I cannot wait.
I think that I have mixed feelings about this because I know the only reason they're making a movie is because if you can't sell a movie in China right now, you can't make it making a movie. And so they continue to make movies that are going to sell in China. My thought is that I wish that they would, whoever it is that owns the rights to King Kong and Godzilla, I wish they would just put this aside until they figure out these script and these storyline and stick to that. Instead, every movie is just like starting over. It's just like one
Starting
more time,
over. Yeah, there is no. They could make a franchise. They could make a series about this.
And it's the same problem I have with most of the Batman movies.
Yes.
It's like every other Batman movie is the same Batman movie all over again with the same villains doing the same thing. And
Do you know how
it gets
awesome
so
it would
old.
have been if we'd had a King Kong movie first, and then a Godzilla movie, and then had the Kong versus Godzilla?
Yeah. And I know there's not much story there, but somebody could do better, I think. And I hope this movie, it looks fantastic. I mean, it looks great. It's on my list. I'm going to watch it in the theater.
Yeah.
I may watch it in a IMAX. It looks fabulous.
It looks great. It looks great. The other one I'm excited about is Mortal Kombat, man. We've all seen it. The first one, the second one wasn't as good, or maybe you liked the second one more than the first one, but the special effects were not there when this movie was made originally. And I'm excited to see them do it right. I hope they do it right.
I know, man. You bring this up about every other week.
It's because I'm excited, man. I'm ready.
I know, man.
I'm ready.
I know. You're ready.
And it's going to be a letdown. I know it. Number 6.
You're just watching for the fights. Don't worry about the story.
That's right. There's no storyline.
You're just watching for the fights.
Watching it for the fights. Number 6. Maybe the greatest animated movie of all time, The Lion King.
Really? It's number 6?
Number 6. $1.7 billion.
I wonder how they figure the gross earnings. I wonder if this is only the movie sales or if it's also product after, I don't know, but the article probably didn't say.
This is just simply movies sold.
Movies sold. Okay. All right. 1 point. Man. That's impressive since it came out in the 90s, because things cost so much more. Things cost so much more now. It's a lot easier to bump up that ticket sales, when you're paying $12 a ticket versus $6 a ticket.
So I'm not sure which one is older. Lion King. I guess Lion King's older than Avatar, but only by about 5 or 6 years.
No, like probably almost 20 years.
Is it?
Avatar came out maybe 2007 or 8, something like that.
Okay. All right. I believe. Yeah, you're right. Probably so. Yeah, you're right. Okay. Number 5. Avengers, Infinity Wars, which, as everyone knows, is the second to last Avengers movie. And they made right at $2 billion.
I just can't even imagine that kind of money, man. That's just such a fantastic. That's just amazing.
Yeah.
That's just so amazing.
I'm
sorry, there's a couple walking by. They just got married, and I'm freezing out here with pants on and a t-shirt. And this poor gal is in a wedding gown. She's taking these fantastic pictures, man. They're dragging out a professional photographer. And, she's got to be so cold.
I kind of hope that there's a person that runs around with a blanket, wraps over the top of her for the picture's sake, and pulls it off.
He didn't think that far ahead. No, he's walking around with his jacket on. And he could be giving it to her, but
it destroys the pictures.
Well, they're 20, I'm sure. So
but you're right. You're right. That's absolutely crazy. Number 4 is Star Wars: The Force Awakens, and they made
baby.
It was just a touch over Infinity Wars. It was less than $1 million difference. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Number 3, Oh man, a movie that when I was a kid I didn't want to see, and now I feel like it's never gonna die, man. The latest version of Titanic.
Number three.
Number 3, 2.195 billion.
I believe it. Yeah, I've seen that movie 5 times in the theater.
Good.
5 times.
Yeah.
It was just so good.
It was. I mean, it broke. At the time, I didn't respect it or understand what it had done. But looking back, the way they did the special effects and the way they tied everything together for that early part in the 90s, I mean, it's a pure masterpiece in cinema for the time period.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All right, so then the top 2, we both know them. It's going to be Avengers Game and Avatar. And according to this article, $7 million separated the two between 1 and 2. And it's absolutely amazing that the number 1 and number 2 film of all time that were made that far apart could be separated by such a small number. I mean, it's just amazing. It's just amazing.
And both are Disney movies. So almost at least half the movies you named are owned by Disney.
Wow. I didn't even, you're right. I mean, I guess I should have thought that a little farther through before I started talking. I should have been like Disney versus World. What did anybody else do about?
They've made the right gambles in the last 15 years. The CEO, he just stepped down. They changed CEOs. Man, he put him on the map. He bought ESPN and he bought Lucasfilms and Marvel. He's turned what we already all loved into just a global force. It's unbelievable.
It's funny you said that, the way you said it, because you said he made all the right moves. He bought all the things we already knew were popular. He bought all the things that people between the ages of, I don't know, 45, 50 and below grew up as kids. And he said, let me buy these, make them into big time movies, do it right. Don't just rush it. Do it right, and let's see what happens. And what happened was you put out a good product, you sell it to the consumer who wants it, and it's amazing when big things happen.
Yep.
I mean, you wouldn't say it.
And they...
You hear that? You hear that?
What is that? What is it? Is that a bird?
Can you hear that?
Yes, is that a bird?
That is a B-2 bomber.
Oh, it didn't sound like that.
Oh, then you can't hear it. That's a bird, then, what you're hearing.
So, I know I bring it up occasionally. Something hasn't all made our actual final cut, but it really sounds like that the people at Disney are going to very possibly make 3 more Star Wars movies and pretend like the last 3 that they made never happened.
Really? Why?
Because they could do it again and make that much money all over again.
Oh.
And there's so much of the fandom doesn't like the last 3 movies. They say that they don't follow the story and they don't like where it went. They don't like that there's 3 more characters that nobody knew. Like Kathleen Kennedy just invented 3 more stars, and they weren't the original. Everybody wants the original. They want the original storyline. It could happen. I'm not saying it's going to happen. Kathleen Kennedy's at Disney at least for another year, probably, but we could easily see in 5 years, we could see 3 more Star Wars movies and make it act like it never even happened.
Wow. I'm not a Star Wars nerd. That's not a negative term anymore, so don't take it that way. But I don't know the original characters. I don't know the original way that the thing was supposed to turn out. But I could definitely see where if I had followed the cast, I had read all the books, I did know every line, every joke, and I wanted to see it on cinema. For her to create new characters, that would definitely be a slap in the face to the greatness that is Star Wars.
Yeah, I mean, I liked them, but I'll watch 3 more. I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, I'll watch 3 more. Yeah. Won't bother me.
All right.
Will not bother me.
So, man, this week I see it's kind of disturbing, really. It kind of bothers me, too. I've seen an article written by a guy. He says that over the last few years, he's been getting emails, text messages, and phone calls from realtors saying, we know you own this property, we want to buy it. The only problem is he doesn't own the property. It's never been the same address. They always want to know about a different address, but they're continuously getting his contact information. The reason he finally broke loose and wrote an article was because one of the realtors actually texted him quite a paragraph and was like, we really want to buy this property if you'd let us sell it. And he's like, so he calls the guy and I don't own the property. I've never owned the property. It's not my house. You need to quit bothering me. How did you even get my information? He goes, oh, well, we got this software we pay for that tells us who owns what. What disturbs me is there's people in the world that could actually get a hold of all my contact information just because they pay somebody who has a software algorithm that's out there gleaning my information from what is available on the internet. I mean, I know anybody with freedom of information could go to a courthouse and find out that Ted and Sarah own a house in Springdale. But to actually get my cell phone and home number and email, I'm saying, like, that's a lot of information. Seems to me like it shouldn't be really readily available just because somebody owns some software that they can do a search on. They're not even having to do the actual footwork. This program is doing the footwork.
So when I called a realtor in New Jersey, and we were looking to buy a house there, when we first got there, I got the same emails and text messages and phone calls you're talking about the two properties in Little Rock. And I literally was getting probably phone calls every hour, if not every other hour, for 2 weeks. And I called the realtor who I was dealing with and said, hey, why did you sell my information? Why did you do this? And she said, oh, I didn't want to, but we're required by whatever organization they all report to, that when they put a new client who owns a previous property, they put their information in some kind of portal to help you sell your old property. That ain't helping anybody. Because I was not getting like, hey man, your house appraised for $100,000. We want to give you 125. I was getting lowball BS, absolutely ridiculous offers by people who were insinuating I wasn't smart enough to keep the properties I had afloat. And at one point I told old boy that if he called me again, I was going to call the police, that this was harassment. I wasn't going to deal with it. And that I was going to sue him and his organization. And that pretty much was what I said to every person that called for a week until they stopped. But it was just like your friend said, man, it was nonstop. And it was ridiculous. So.
Man, it's unbelievable to me just how much of my information is out there.
Yeah.
For whoever, no footwork, just pay a fee. I mean, how much could it be? A couple $100, to get on the software. I mean, how much could it really be?
I bet it's more like $20.
Could
I
be.
bet it's a $5 fee a month or something. I bet it's nothing.
Yeah, could be. Yeah.
Well,
man, we got a big comedian bracket thing going on.
We do. We do.
Got that out there now. I misspelled everybody's name. It's my fault.
It's not your fault, man. They're basically cavemen. How would you know how to spell their name?
Well, I'm still going to blame Apple.
Probably spell check.
I'm currently using Apple products, and I probably have another iPhone after this. But I'm here to tell you that I've not found one thing that Apple does better than Android. But I've found lots of things that Android does better than Apple. Probably the only reason I have an iPhone after,
I like the whole thing you have where you pay you get a brand new Apple phone every year for a small fee. That's pretty dang. And
that's the only reason I'll probably have another iPhone after this.
Yeah. In fact, that's probably the only reason why I would switch. So I have an iPhone work phone, and I joke that I'm not smart enough to make a phone call on it.
Right.
Because it's just so complicated.
I take it back. And Apple does do one thing better than Android. Whenever I want to make a phone call from an app, I only have to push the button one time to make the phone call. With an Android phone, you have to tell the app you want to make a call, and then it sends it over to Android, and Android says, oh, did you want to make a call? And then it sends it to the phone, and you finally get to hit make a call. So that's the only advantage. But
that is.
My gosh, man. Anyway, this video is not sponsored by Apple.
They ain't sure not sponsored by Apple, nor Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, right.
Um,
But yeah, man, comedian brackets, I'm really pulling hard for Robin Williams and Jerry Seinfeld.
so I'm glad you brought. So
Not
let's
up to us,
chat
though.
about that. Let's chat for a
Mhm.
second. So as we speak right now, if you have Illinois winning the championship in your college basketball bracket, you're probably screaming at the TV. So
Yeah.
if you have Jerry Seinfeld winning the bracket and he goes down, to me that's equal. Like I think Jerry Seinfeld's got to be the favorite.
I don't think he's going to go down in the first round for sure. He's going to be in
No,
there.
I don't think
Even
so.
at the end.
Who
But
else?
we got to discuss. I really think we're going to have two categories for winners. I think we're going to turn our. I don't think we can come up with one winner. I think there's too many differences between the people we have. I think we need a category just for stand up and another category for on screen.
So yeah, but right now everybody in our bracket is stand-up comedian.
Yeah,
I know there's some that have done both. I'm with you. But
I'm gonna say Robin Williams though. Robin Williams is more on screen than stand up. He did do a lot of stand up, but not on screen. And we got Martin Lawrence and don't have it in front of me. I'm gonna try to remember.
look, I'm not opposed to doing a surprise bracket.
Yeah.
And maybe I send you just a bracket of just simply television actors that we think are hilarious. And maybe instead of doing a full video, maybe you just simply push that on the website, on the Facebook and make a quick video of just simply the bracket. And then we might have to pay overtime to our two experts and have them jump on both. I mean, they're expensive. You see how much Dr. Pepper John's drinking? That's
real.
Yeah, that's real business.
You might have a drinking problem.
You might. Jerry Jones doesn't mind though, man. He said, drink it all, boys, drink it all. Yeah, he's got to pay for that Dak Prescott contract. Drink it all.
Yeah. All right, man. Let's wrap this up, I think.
Let's wrap it up, man. Hey, bottoms up.
Bottoms up. Got my go. See you next time.
Yeah.
Like, share, and subscribe.